Aspirations of changes make major complications, lifting pain to your patience, making collaboration. Abstract amounts of ability to make rhymes I cry. Here's tunnel line with a rhyme sniped during the night, creating fights at any listener that's clearly in sight. Don't try to start a fight, cause the lyrics are full of spite. The speakers and speakerphones remain prone to the dome. They don't move the sound that stage just stumps the bones. When you in your zone, nothing matters but your flow. Trying to make it known, but nobody really knows. In this weather, either you're hot or either you're cold. But at this temperature, I just gotta make it my own. My talents is everything that I'm always trying to show. But a masterpiece of greatness is what truly unfolds. My flow is truly something that cannot be cloned. Like a newborn bird that is flown before it's grown. An angel that fled from heaven and finally coming home. A hopeless poet that actually feels that he's alone. A king who is conquered and finally claimed his throne. All my listeners who listen might be saying, whoa, is it a talent that I have shown? This one that I have grown. Through this mic that's in my sight, my breath supply is getting low. Can I breathe right quick? Shit. Now let's take a little trip through poetry and motion.